This is your weekly celestial forecast for the week beginning October 16th, 2023. So on Monday, we have the moon in Scorpio, and Scorpio is very intense. Yes. And it is also about our passion. It is about the eighth house. So we are feeling on Monday rather passionate. We are very much about close relationships and depth and intensity because the moon here is just past Mars, the action planet, and the depositor of the moon in Scorpio and with Pluto. So we're feeling this sense of power. We want to work hard on Monday, and we are very focused on getting things done. Yes. However, we've got Jupiter, the planet of generosity and expansion, retrograde, opposing the moon. And when you see an opposition like this, it's kind of like a double-edged sword because on one hand, Scorpio in opposition to generous Jupiter is good because this is good in this case because Jupiter is with Taurus and the moon is in a passionate Scorpio for money news. It's good for uh, generosity. Perhaps we will be a recipient of good job and or money news or someone else's generosity. It's a very helpful connection. But on the other hand, it is an opposition. So we will have to find the medium between not being too stubborn and really defending our values because Taurus is the second house. And we will really have to watch for any verbal entanglements, so to speak, because the second house is connected with Taurus and Jupiter is retrograde. So that can be a little bit of a difficult situation. But if we can really kind of balance out this opposition, even with the fixed signs of Taurus and Scorpio on Monday, that will greatly benefit us. However, it is fixed, and Jupiter is in opposition with Scorpio, and now with Jupiter and Taurus, this really exaggerates any kind of frustrations or aggravations, conflicts, what have you. So because Taurus is connected with the second house, some verbal disagreements could get out of hand, as well as bullying or other conflicts on Monday. And we have Pluto, the depositor of the moon, at 27 degrees retrograde, and that is still making a sweet trine to Uranus retrograde. So that kind of keeps us with our feet firmly on the ground and not getting too carried away with drama and getting too carried away with power plays, or at the very least, kind of keeping some of the drama at bay. But because we have on Tuesday the applying opposition to Uranus, well, that indeed could be canceled out on Tuesday. Once the moon then late Monday, early Tuesday makes an opposition to Uranus. And always, what is Taurus? It is connected with our Earth. And now with Uranus retrograde as Jupiter, retrograde planets aren't always at their best. So this could very well indicate some large earthquakes, natural disasters, volcanoes, and the like late Monday and even into Tuesday. Yes, and Mars is now at 3 degrees of Scorpio, making somewhat of a bit of a wide trine to Saturn. So that only emphasizes, as mentioned earlier, with the moon in Scorpio, depositor of uh, Pluto in Capricorn and Mars. Uh, Saturn is the connection with responsibility and it's retrograde. So Saturn is very determined now, very focused. And with Mars, the action planet, making a trine here on Tuesday and for at least the first few days of this week, we are really going to be buckling down and focusing on our chores and what we need to do with tasks at hand. This is connected with duty, responsibility, very much focused on work, our jobs, responsibilities, what we have to do. And also, Scorpio is connected with the eighth house, Pisces. Even Neptune and the depositor of Saturn is also connected with the 12th house. So there could be a very strong focus early on in the week with diet, exercise, anything to do with mental health, physical health, this type of focus, kind of getting our ducks in a row regarding anything and everything that has to do with health concerns. And this is very positive connected with this trine. Yes, indeed. However, there is somewhat of a wide out of sign square between Pluto and Mars. So, yes, although as far as with the collective with Uranus and Pluto, we may temper a bit of the power plays and the conflicts, but more personally, because we're talking Mars, the action planet, making an out of sign square to Pluto power. Well, personally, we will have to really play down our need to be right or our need to win at all costs. Although Pluto is in Capricorn, Mars is in Scorpio, and they're both very driven signs. So the positive here, as aforementioned, is our focus early on this week with work and duties, responsibility. But keep in mind, Pluto also has to do with what? It has to do with authorities, the powers that be, structure, and government. So there could be something on Monday that comes about that is connected with some tensions with government or the powers that be, or making changes to structure, leadership, and so on Monday. And Venus is in Virgo still, and that makes a sweet water and earth sextile to Scorpio. So that's very positive. It kind of indicates that we are expressing ourselves responsibly and more about really taking an intelligent approach to all our communications, all our actions, because it's Venus and Mars. This is a really good connection because Venus and Mars is known to be good connections with relationships. So on Monday, possibly even Tuesday, the first few days this week, it's really good for relationship communication. So if there's something important that you want to say to your significant other, even anything connected with business or finance, what have you, the first few days of this week are very positive for that indeed. And we still have Neptune retrograde, so that's going to still indicate possible issues with water, liquid, and the like, especially here because we've got the moon applying a trine, yes, even in a positive aspect with Neptune. So also we cannot omit this connection Monday and Tuesday with Scorpio just past Mars and applying a trine to Neptune. So there's still going to be a lot of this discussion about information that we feel is kind of hidden. It's a very good day, especially in the atmosphere of Halloween, for the mysteries and figuring out some information that must be unearthed. And we're going to look ahead to the next day, which is the 17th of October. And now the moon is void in the sign of Scorpio. Not a good day, at least for the most part, for void of course moons to sign any important paperwork. But now the moon is itself in a sextile with Pluto. So on Tuesday, kind of continuing this theme of hard work and focus. And now with the sextile with Pluto, we may get good news now or hear about some kind of transformation or change connected with leadership and power. And also on a more personal level, on Tuesday, this is a good day to express your personal powers to authorities, and there may be some good communication there with your employer, management, or maybe, who knows, your own personal power within a business or other communication. So that's on for Tuesday. And by later Tuesday, then the moon will move into the sign of Sagittarius, and there's also a sweet trine between the moon and Neptune. So there could be some information that comes about on Tuesday that is revealed because we're talking a trine here, although we're still going to try to figure out certain information as well. Remember, Venus loves to dig with the sign of Virgo, and that we still have this Virgo Scorpio connection. So it's going to be all about research. And also, what else is Virgo? It's service to others. So there's going to be a lot connected with charity and compassion, especially with this Mars making the sextile to Virgo. But yes, the Scorpio Pisces connection is really good for our compassion, our charity, our sensitivities, anything to do with mental health, physical health. We really are kind of getting in touch with the deepest part of our psyche on Tuesday. And that's extremely positive and kind of digging in and really helping out where our charities or sympathies are needed on Tuesday. Yes, and now we also have the opposition with Uranus. So late Monday and on Tuesday, expect the unexpected. And also, this could be connected with what? The collective, the masses, the public eye. So we're going to have to be cautious of any group conflicts. That could be social media, that can be personally. This is the time we want to temper all of our reactions because there's going to be some frustrations Monday and Tuesday kind of building below the surface because Scorpio is the eighth house, and they could really kind of simmer over on Tuesday. And yes, that could energetically be connected with our Earth and all these large earthquakes or natural disasters as well. So we're going to look forward a day. And one last thing for Tuesday, we have an out of sign square to Saturn. So although we are going to be focused on Tuesday with work, with really developing our sense of self-confidence, self-esteem, really expressing our power pretty well with this connection with Pluto and the moon, we do have an out of sign square on Tuesday with Saturn. So that can give us this sense of uh, duty still, yes, but at the same time, we will have to be careful that we are not kind of feeling a little low ebb on uh, our sense of self-esteem because Saturn is the planet of feeling rather blocked or uh, is that of karma, yes, responsibility, duty. And when you've got this out of sign square with the moon is all about how we feel. So even though we're really good at expressing our authority and our power, and there could be some good news and transformation with power on Tuesday, well, we personally have this square off with Saturn. So we don't want to be too overly picky if we feel like there's some blocks or frustrations in our lives on Tuesday. We just want to kind of go with the flow and look at the positives with Mars and that connection with the moon and really focus in our work. And no matter what frustrations we experience on Tuesday, we want to focus on the job at hand and doing things right. Take a hint from that Venus and Virgo with the sextile to Mars. So let's look ahead now a day to Wednesday, and Wednesday is the 18th, and now the moon is in Sagittarius. So we are feeling rather positive and generous, and the depositor is Jupiter in Taurus, even retrograde. We could get some good money news on Wednesday, and we are feeling with this moon rather enthusiastic. Yes, and this makes somewhat of a wide trine to Chiron, and then it will apply the trine to the north node. So that's very good. It's very sensitive. Wednesday, we may have an important heart-to-heart conversation, someone about the state of being. Uh, we may get some kind of because Chiron is involved here on Wednesday, we may get some kind of a healing simply because of some kind of a discussion. Maybe we gain some kind of insight into a problem that has kind of been plaguing us, and this conversation or insight flash of realization that occurs on Wednesday is going to help to heal us. But whatever happens, we've still got Jupiter with the moon. It is in a bit of a quincunx here, a little bit of a tense aspect, but hey, with Jupiter as the depositor of the moon, we feel kind of happy-go-lucky on Wednesday, and that can only be very positive. And additionally, the moon is applying a sextile to Mercury, the south node, and the sun within about a day and a half. So the positive energy starting to build. So with some frustrations that we've been going through, we now have a sense of well-being on Wednesday, and with the sextile or applying sextile, stronger of course on Thursday than on Wednesday. This is very good for social contacts because that's what Libra is about. And with the moon, with Sagittarius on Wednesday, we are feeling like we really want to communicate with each other and really find solutions collectively. But we do have a square with Venus and the moon. So on Wednesday, we don't want to be too critical with our loved ones. We want to be more accepting. We don't want to be kind of cold and put up some blocks here because there's kind of well, the day earlier on Tuesday, not so much Wednesday, there was a bit of a mutable T-square between the moon, Saturn, and Venus. But nonetheless, there is a square on Wednesday between the moon in Sagittarius and Venus. So this could give us, yes, a little bit of a chilly connection or chilly with regards to our communications with the love sphere. And we want to really kind of seek to understand, then criticize. And that's what's important on Wednesday. So let's look ahead to the next day, which is the 19th, and the moon is further along in Sagittarius, applying a uh, applying a square to Neptune. So we're back to that theme again on Thursday. A little bit of confusion in our communications, some fuzzy thinking. Maybe we have an important decision to make on Thursday, and we have to figure out which road to take because we've got the moon squaring Neptune. So this could also indicate some weather issues because keep in mind, Neptune is connected with water and it's not at its best, the planet, because it is retrograde. So we will be a little bit confused about some issues, could be some paperwork on Thursday, or our feelings about making a particular decision. And it could have to do with a job decision or something to do with money, because remember, the depositor of the moon is Jupiter. So should you take this road or should you take that road? Which way should you do? So we're going to have a little bit of some temporary cloudy thinking on the Thursday. And that also is expressed within our communications. So we have to be very clear and concise about our intentions, because this could indeed affect us in the future. And again, on the physical sense, with Neptune retrograde at 25 degrees Pisces, making the square to the moon, yes, there could be some issues with water on Thursday, moisture, the atmosphere, storms, and the like. So I have to keep an eye out for that. But nonetheless, kind of like as I was mentioning for Wednesday, with the moon now in the sextile with the south node Mercury and the sun, that's very positive for Thursday. And especially when you've got the sun and the moon, that's the masculine and the feminine, making this sextile to each other. So that kind of gives us a boost of self-confidence on Thursday. No, maybe our thinking is a little bit shady. Maybe our communications could get a little fuzzy and some frustration. But nonetheless, with this sextile, with this Libra stellium Thursday, we're feeling confident, and that theme comes back again about working hard. But more than that, Libra is about social contacts. It's about legalities, anything to do with the courts, justice, beauty, fairness. So on Thursday, we also have this heightened sense of beauty. We really possibly want to redo or renovate our surroundings. It's great for artistry, artistic work of all kinds, our creativity, and yes, even our social communications. We really want to negotiate on Thursday. We really want to harmonize. And with this moon sextile, this Libra stellium, it's positive for all forms of creativity and really kind of creating a peaceful atmosphere. And yes, that can be attributed to the physical atmosphere of repair, renovate, beautify, and it's good for good legal news. So on Thursday, you may get some very good legal information or something connected with legalities, courts, justice, and this so on. It's a very good time to deal with the public as well. So let's look another day ahead here to finally the weekend, and it's now October 20th, and it is officially the weekend on Friday. And the moon now is in very serious, hard working Capricorn, and within about a day and a half, then applying the conjunction with powerhouse Pluto. And as always, with the moon in Capricorn, it's back to sticking our nose to the grindstone. It's all very serious. Its depositor is Saturn in Pisces at 0 degrees critical. So we must keep our eye out for health and wellness on Friday because of the moon in Capricorn and this depositor retrograde in Pisces. We don't want to overdo it because that could create some stress for us on Friday. So possible health issues, but it's more about, it could be physical, but it's more about the mental stress or frustration. Don't overdo any work or job concerns on Friday, kind of finishing up the last day of the work week and possibly finishing up some of those tasks at hand. But we may have a tendency to overstress or overdo it mentally or physically. But hey, there's a sweet sextile between the planet of action, Scorpio, and the moon. So Scorpio, Capricorn connection, kind of continuing this theme this whole week with this Scorpio connection, and Saturn and the moon with hard work. We are having a bit of a tendency, however, even though the moon is sextile Mars, and that's good for action, work, really finishing projects, we also will have a tendency, because we got the moon in Capricorn here and then applying the conjunction with powerhouse Pluto within a couple days, to be a little bit pessimistic, a little gloomy on Friday. So, yes, it's best with Mars there in Scorpio just to really finish the tasks at hand, but we don't want to become too pessimistic because we also have an applying square with Chiron and the North Node in Aries here within about a day. So that kind of gives us this extra, kind of a little bit of some of it an annoyance that there's something in our life that we need to close the book on. Because remember, Chiron is about healing, and the North Node, as the North Node and the South Node, are about what? Our feelings and emotions, because these points are connected with the moon. So on Friday, we feel like we might have that important discussion, but maybe we feel like we can't have that discussion that day on Friday. It's got to be put off. There's some kind of annoyance or something that's bothering us that we really need to open up and discuss. But if it is discussed, we may be fearful or may find out that whatever it is information we want to talk about may not be as well received, and this may or may not be the reason why we're feeling a little bit negative or a little bit off on Friday. And to add to this, we've got an applying square with the Libra stellium coming up. But hey, there's a sweet trine to Venus, the planet of love. So nonetheless, even if there's a little bit of an annoyance and something you want to open up about and have an important discussion with on Friday, Venus is making the trine to the moon in Capricorn. And as always, Venus represents love. And so this is a good time to at least express your creativity. And at least this is a time to react intelligently and without drama, more about communicating on Friday. And so even though there's not a lot of feeling involved here with this Earth trine, hey, it's still a good day to take the intelligent, practical approach to love and romance and so on. So let's look at the next day, and it is Saturday, and that's now Saturday, and the moon is applying the conjunction with Pluto. So on Saturday, yeah, we're still focused as all week as we have been on hard work and the tasks at hand, but now we're feeling a little bit of our power coming on. Maybe we feel the need on Saturday to challenge others. But if this energy is focused, it's about really pushing ahead and completing some kind of important job or project business, because we're talking Capricorn, that we've really wanted to complete. And we are just really focused our energy to the best on Saturday, because we're talking the moon with Pluto. But on the negative side, well, we may want to challenge our power on Saturday, because we have the square between the south node, which there it's kind of touchy as it is, the sun, which is about our confidence, and the communicator of Mercury, making this square between moon and powerful Pluto. So on Saturday, yes, even on a weekend, there may be some frustrating news regarding the powers that be. There could also be some issues with leaders or leadership, because the moon does square the north node and Chiron in Aries. So there may be some issues with leaders, leadership, government, powers that be, even our personal power that we may not agree with. This may create tensions collectively because it involves the moon. So do be on the lookout for that on the 21st, for frustrations with government leaders, a transfer or transformation of some kind. And also do bear in mind that Capricorn is actually also connected with physical structure, not just the breakdown within something of society with structure and the collective and so on. It also deals with physical structure, history, and so on. And there is a trine here now with the moon with Pluto and Neptune retrograde. So there could also be on Saturday, on a positive note here, some kind of historical artifact or something from history that really intrigues us, that's found out or comes about, and this really gains our attention on Saturday. What from history, what artifact or something is very fascinating to us. But on the more physical level, yes, we will have to be careful of these petty conflicts on Saturday, because we're talking the square with Libra, and with the sun here within the stellum. So although we are driven to possibly overwork on Saturday on the 21st, we are feeling a little low in our confidence and our self-esteem, and this could create some of these petty, kind of mindless conflicts or frustrations, but maybe not always so much with each other as it is just general stumbling blocks that we may have to deal with on Saturday. But there is also a beautiful trine with Uranus. So this is great for connecting with the collective and really expressing our views, our humanity, because we're talking Uranus here, without getting too overboard. Even if with this square and applying T-square with the moon, Pluto, Aries, North Node, Chiron, and the Libra stellium, we may feel frustrations. We may not agree to what transfer, what change is coming up over the weekend that does create some bit of chaos. With Uranus, with the trine, this is saying, okay, we may not agree with whatever changes are at hand. We are really focused on getting the job done, or whatever needs to be completed, even if we don't agree with it. And Uranus is saying, because it's connected with the collective as well as the moon, we have to deal with what? Our humanity, and we have to find solutions. And that's very positive about this moon Pluto with Uranus. It's also kind of like the moon, dealing with the collective, dealing with the masses, and finding an intelligent solution, even if we have disagreements within this T square. And Uranus, also connected with the moon, is extremely good and intelligent about what? About money. Yes, indeed. So over the weekend, there's going to be aforementioned, kind of like earlier in the week, good money news, as it was with the moon in Sagittarius. It's a great time for business and business discussions. There could be good news, yes, even over the weekend, regarding corporations, banks, real estate, or these could make the news somehow. And also dealing possibly with culinary, because Taurus is also dealing with the second house. So let's look forward to the final day, which is Sunday. And now the moon is in Aquarius. So now we are moving from this sweet trine and applying the square with Jupiter. So we're really now on Sunday, the 22nd, back to really having to temper our feelings of frustration, because Jupiter, keep in mind, and now it's retrograde still, has a tendency to really make a big deal out of conflicts. At the very least, we may be feeling frustrated at our progress in our communications with each other, because the moon, although detached in the sign of Aquarius, is about how we relate to each other. Remember, our friends, our friendliness, our humanity. Also, on a more physical level, the moon could indicate issues within technology, and to some degree, yes, it's Aquarius because it does deal with our humanity. There could also be connections or frustrations with leaders, leadership, and so on. But yes, keep in mind there could be also news regarding that, which is connected with science, technology, that could actually be kind of frustrating, or that we could disagree with. Could have problems with hacking. We could have problems with technology, computers, mechanics, you name it. That is on Sunday. And as stated, Jupiter has a tendency, even retrograde, to kind of expand on some of these frustrations that we may experience. And by Monday or Tuesday, we're back to seeing some rather large earthquakes because of the applying square with Uranus. But keep in mind, this also may be expressed from the energetic frustrations within humanity. And the earth is kind of a physical manifestation of all these frustrations. But that is going to be for the next weekly celestial forecast. And we do have a square between Mars, and now a wide square with Mercury, the thinker, the communicator, the planet of action. So when we've got the planet of action and Scorpio with Mars in its domicile, yes, the moon in Aquarius, we will have to be cautious, yes, even on a Sunday, of these conflicts getting a little bit out of hand, because we've got kind of a really wide fixed T square on Sunday with Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So there's going to be some kind of issue on Sunday about possibly injustice. Again, there's that word again regarding our humanity issues and our views, our ideologies on Sunday. And we are very fixed about our beliefs. And of course, as Taurus with the second house, we're going to be very vocal. What is right? What is wrong? Our ideals, our humanity, conflicts, and fighting for what we believe is right and wrong. And with Scorpio and Taurus, we're not going to hold back on those strong opinions. So keep a lid on it on Sunday because tensions could boil over. Yes, but nonetheless, there is also next week an applying trine from the moon to the sun on likely Monday, as then the sun will head into the sign of Scorpio. So to finish the week, we want to really continue the theme for this week, which is about what? It's about hard work, really focusing on interactions with each other, our money, and really building upon all the positivity with finance and the good news that that is, and staying clear of frustrations personally and with each other. And we don't want to be narrow-minded in our beliefs, especially by Sunday. We want to try to create peace and harmony than conflict. And if there is a change connected with power or the powers that be, well, we're just going to have to go with the flow and take a hint from, in this case, Chiron and the nodes, is to heal and to really take a hint from Scorpio, dig deep, and really bring frustrations or uncertainties to the surface. And if we can do that, then this week for October 16th, 2023 will end on a high note. If you'd like to get in touch with me, my contact information is down below. I give one-on-one readings and written reports. Please subscribe to this channel and press the bell notification. Until next time, many, many blessings.